Hey Mighty Marlins, and welcome back to music class. This week in music, we are going to be creating our own musical sounds within the Google Chrome Lab. So let's check it out.
Hey Mighty Marlins, and welcome to the Chrome Music Lab. Today we are going to be using the Rhythm Maker to create our own rhythms. First up, you see two cartoon characters and they are playing instruments. So these guys are playing the timpani and this little guy is playing the triangle. You don't have to use these characters. You can change them by clicking this arrow. But before we decide we don't want to use these guys, let's listen to how their instruments sound. If we click next, our next group of characters are playing drums and I see a hi-hat cymbal. So let's listen to how they sound. Our next group of friends are playing the tempo blocks and the claves. Let's listen to how their instruments sound. And our last group of friends are playing the conga drums and the cowbell. Let's listen to how these friends sound. So the first thing you're going to do to create your rhythm is select the characters and instruments you want to use. I've decided to go with the claves and the tempo blocks. Now, below these characters, you see a grid with lines and dots. Each row goes for a specific instrument. So there's 3 instruments: the brown tempo block, the yellow tempo block, and the claves. So the first row is going to make the brown tempo blocks click. So every note on the first row is going to be only to click the brown tempo blocks. So let's highlight that. So every dot that you click in this first row is simply going to be for the brown tempo blocks. Everything that you click on the second row is going to be for the yellow tempo blocks. So everything that I click from left to right on the second row is going to make the character play the yellow tempo block. And everything you click on the top row, the third row, is going to be the tempo blocks. So everything that we click here is going to make the little guy with, sorry, not the tempo blocks, the claves. The little guy with the claves, it's going to make him play the claves. When creating your rhythm, it really can be anything that you want it to be. But my first tip is to create a pattern on each row. So I'm going to try to create my pattern by clicking 2 blocks. I'm going to skip 2 spaces, click 2 blocks, skip 2 dots, and do it again. So let's listen to how that sounds. Okay, now for the next row, I'm going to do a different pattern. This time I'm going to skip 2 spaces, click a dot, skip 2 spaces, click a dot, skip 2 spaces, click a dot. So let's listen to how that sounds. I think that sounds pretty good, but it seems a little off. So for this pattern, I'm going to add a yellow block after each of the 2 brown sounds. So I have 1, 2 brown clicks. I'm going to put a yellow click after. 2 brown clicks, put a yellow click after. And for the clave section, I think I'm going to do the same pattern as the first row. 2, skip 2. Oh, wow. I didn't actually skip 2. I skipped 3, but that's okay. Music is whatever you want it to be. So here is my final rhythm. Let's listen to how it came out. So that wasn't too bad. I think you guys can have a great time creating your own rhythms. Remember, create patterns on each of the rows, create a pattern on each of the rows, play it, listen to how it sounds, see if you like it or not. If you don't like it, you can always retry it. Also, experiment with the different sounds that you can use to create your rhythms. You'd be surprised what sounds you may have thought you liked, and you might be surprised that you end up liking the different sounds that the different characters can play.
Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.